سيدنا السلام عليكم. Hello everyone. Welcome to this special episode with two amazing and dear friends. We'll talk about everything career, cloud, AI, and everything in between. So first of all, welcome dear friends. Welcome Rustam. Welcome Carlos. Do you mind giving a quick intro for yourself?
Go ahead.
Okay. I'm Carlos Sanchez. I work at Adobe. I'm a principal scientist there, and I work in all things cloud, Kubernetes, and now AI.
Obviously.
Cool.
My name is Rustam Mehmandarov. I am based in Norway, in Oslo. I am working in a bank right now. Been doing it for a little while now. Before that, I was a consultant for almost 20 years. Again, doing all kind of cloud, Java, mostly development, backend mostly, but doing both. And also quite a bit of AI and quite a lot of cloud, quite a lot of cloud native, all those kind of things.
Amazing. And I am Mohammed. I work as a backend engineer in Spotify and also doing a lot of community stuff and cloud as well. So to kick things out, what's the most exciting and memorable announcement from this year Google I/O? I want to start.
For me, it would be all the Agentic AI. The agent-to-agent standards that got just accepted into the, I think it was CNCF Foundation?
Yes, it is. Yeah.
So Google started, I think now the support of AWS and other companies. So that's a cool thing to watch for, because this is where a lot of work is going to go into building agents.
It's actually a good point, because it's the most amazing thing, at least for me, is in that area is how easy it became. It's like it's quite easy. You don't really have to do that much mumbo jumbo. You just, it's relatively easy to integrate, create those things and stuff like that.
I think it's good to create them. Then we're gonna have the other problem, which is so many agents and what do we do with them?
That is
how
true.
do we maintain them? How do we keep them up to date? All that stuff.
Yeah.
But that's a good problem to have later.
More work for us. What about you, Rustam?
For me, this is one of those things that Carlos mentioned already, but if I have to pick something, I would probably go with those edge device LLMs like Gemma 3N now, for example, that you can run on a relatively, to say that, let's put it this way, relatively low power devices. I mean, it's not really low power devices, but it's something that it's big enough or small enough to have in your pocket. So it's really, really cool, because then you actually get the experience of similar to what you would have with clouds, with huge machines and GPUs and all that, and TPUs or whatnot in the background. But now you have it on your device and it's actually offline. It's not like dependent on the internet and stuff like that. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah, so unlocking the AI capabilities in device without needing to worry about having the internet or...
And all these local models, they're going to be very popular across enterprises where they don't want they want to make sure that their data is not reused anywhere.
Yeah,
privacy,
it's a good for privacy
all
reason,
that,
obviously. For me, it was related to AI, but not really AI.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I love the XR glasses demo. The ones have a small AR screen. So I love the demo there, and I see that we're slowly moving to a new platform. Mm-hmm. So we had the mobile revolution a few years ago, more than a few years ago. But now we're moving to a new platform, which is like a mixture between VR and AR, which is like the XAR. Remember the Google glasses?
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask. Is this the year of the glasses, smart glasses?
Probably. But
like Linux and the desktop?
I mean, they are more mainstream now compared to what they were more geeky years back. But now they are embraced into this familiar glasses, which is really cool. And they have a lot more capabilities. Have you seen the translation? So I can speak Arabic, you can speak Spanish. You know a little bit of Arabic.
I can speak Arabic too.
I know. Habibi, I know. Inshallah. So we are all developers in this room. Yeah. And then AI has been everywhere for the last couple of years, obviously. Yeah. So if you were to give 1 to 2 advices to developers on how to embrace AI in their developer workflow, because we're hearing a lot about AI is coming to our jobs. AI is hunting us. Mm-hmm. AI will be a developer, a senior developer in the next year. That's one of the bets that well-known figure within the AI world said. So what's your advices to the developers that are hearing us right now, how they can embrace AI in their workflow and benefit them in their day-to-day life?
For me, there's two tracks on the AI adoption. One is, how do you make your company or your project or whatever it is use AI? So putting AI in front of your users.
Yeah.
And because people are expecting things now, and people expect and will expect better interfaces, better chats, more natural language stuff, things like that. And the other one, more related to the developers, is how to use AI internally to build features or to build whatever you're building. Because this changes a lot the dynamics where I read a tweet, I think this week, was all the skills that you had that were very useful before, like where the curly braces go, what is the syntax of the language I'm using, all those skills are, their value just drop drastically. But the other skills, like how do I see a system as a whole, how do I see things, how do I want things to work together, and the ability of express that or design that and then passing it on to an LLM, those skills are now of higher value. Because you need to be very clear, or you need to know how to lay out what you want to build to pass it on to the LLM. So I think that there's two tracks. And if you are not using AI today for coding, I think there's no excuse.
For sure. Yeah.
And not doing it is going to send you back years in your career.
So basically, we need to embrace AI in one way or another in order to be up to
it's
date.
like saying 10 years ago or 5 years ago or whatever, saying, oh, yeah, no, I don't want to use IDE. I don't want to use
containers.
I don't want to use containers. I don't want to use, tooltips. I don't want to use auto-completion in my IDE. I want to stick to Vim. Right?
Yes.
I mean, you can. It's just like it's going to be the hard way.
But it's going to take you way longer than anybody else.
Exactly.
And now you are in a bad position to be.
Rustam, I want to ask you the same question, but with a focus on the Java developers and the Java community, since you're a Java champion and we want to benefit from that. But there's 10 million Java developers out there, at least. That's what the numbers said. So what's your advice to the Java developers? Because there has been a lot of movement into the Java community to embrace AI with LangChain4j and Spring AI and all of that. So how can a Java developers today, given all what we say about Java, it's a slow language, it's been stagnated for so much time. So what's your advice for the Java developers out there?
So generally, let's start with just general rules, rumors, sorry, not rules. One of the things is that like a lot of things people say about Java is not true anymore. It used to be true many years ago, and it's not anymore. So the things like, it's slow and all those kind of things, it's not really a case. It hasn't been a case for quite a long while. So that's one. To me, it's like, I think it's one of the best languages that has a lot of enterprise support. I mean, yes, you can write in all kind of languages, but Java as a platform not necessarily even as a language, but also as a platform, that meaning like JVM and all these kind of things. And now I'm also pulling in also Java, Kotlin, and all those kind of languages as well, is that they do offer you a lot of enterprise stuff that will make it easier for you as working as a company. If you're building your pet project on a Python, with Flask or Django or whatever, cool. But if you want to build something reproducible and something that will, do a lot of more moving and living for a longer time, you'll need a better tooling, and that usually comes with Java. When it comes to AI, it's like you said, there is a thing that LangChain4j, which is a kind of a Java version of LangChain that does a lot of those things. There is a lot of also runtimes that support Java and AI. So things like Quarkus, things like Halidon, all that, they have their kind of own implementation, so that will make things easier, and creating an app on let's say Quarkus that uses LangChain for J and wrapping around that and local LLMs. It's not. It takes you seconds, and then you have something running at least on a demo level.
Yep.
So that's really cool. And there is also a work group that has been also put together. Well, you know that probably, yeah. The work group for Java and AI that has been doing a lot of things, also looking at how it works in education, how it's in different other areas as well. So it's really a lot of things happening there. Yeah. But when it comes to developers, like you said, embrace it. That's what I wanted to say as well, because you have to embrace it, but you also have to learn how to use it as well. Yeah. It's not blindly just ask it a question and copy paste, because then you're just doing the bad way of using Stack Overflow just on steroids. Yeah. Some people were doing that back in the days. They were just looking up on the Stack Overflow and just copy pasting things with full of errors and security stuff and things like that. LLMs are, maybe a little bit better in those things, but you really still need to check those things. Yeah. So you need to embrace it, you need to try to use it, you need to learn it, but you need to also understand its limitations and where developers need to do that. And if you're not able to explain to me or anybody else around you what this piece of code that's been generated for you is doing, then you should not copy it or you should not use it at all.
Well, actually, what if it works?
Are you sure it works 100%? Are you sure it doesn't have all the security issues?
If I executed a canonical use case, it does work. Yeah.
True, most of the times when I asked it to generate a little bit more advanced stuff, it would have a lot of logical errors in it. Like, for example, if you think of a flow of a code with if and else and all those kind of things, it would just do a logical errors in that flow. It would just there would be corner cases it would not think about. It would be all those kind of things. It's kind of like you have to make sure that you understand what you're doing.
I had kind of different experience with Gemini 2.5 Pro. Mm-hmm. It manages to get a lot of stuff right in the coding. I've been using it combined it with Cursor, and it's really working, especially in the web world and doing the Java basic stuff with Spring or Quarkus or all of that, where there's a lot of data that it's already aware of. With the reasoning capabilities, it also manages to, if there's an error, just look for it, search for it, find information on the web and auto-fix it. It's really mind-blowing. So we're not there yet, but we're getting there.
We're getting there.
That's what I wanted to add, right? If you tried AI assistants 1 year ago and you gave up because you didn't like it, try again. Because it has nothing to do.
100%.
It's very different.
And the other key part is the agent stuff.
Yeah.
You don't blindly say, just create code for me and stop at that. Yeah. You have to do the prompt engineer of saying, create this, run tests, make sure the tests pass, and you will see how this thing iterates. You go have a coffee, and by the time you come back, it's done.
Yeah. And with the reasoning capabilities that all the modern LLMs starting to have, what I like to do is just walk me through your thinking. And it's it just prompts you I will do this, I will do that. Yep. And then you can have this conversational peer programming with a model basically that's okay, don't do that, do it this way. And then once you're happy with the flow, then as you mentioned, just give it the get go with the test and everything, and just
I think that's the big change is gonna be I leave it running, I'm doing something else. Yeah. And by the time I come back, I have something working.
Do you think there will be we're soon reaching the 10x developer with the LLMs? Do you think we are going to be more productive with the LLMs and AI or AI assistants in coding?
It's like computers. We'll find other things in where to spend our time.
Yeah,
fair enough.
But I mean, what I wanted to ask is when you're thinking of 10x, are you thinking of 10x in a good sense or a bad sense? Because
in whatever sense you want.
No, but because I want to do a bit more.
I'm not talking about the meme.
No. I know. But I'm I want to talk a bit more about the kind of the is it 10x that is able to produce 10 times more and is really accurate or anything, or it's a bit of a 10x that is kind of reckless, just generating a lot of stuff and it looks productive, right? So this is a kind of also, I mean, I'm not saying LLMs are that, but I'm just saying that, there is 10x, there are two different sides of 10x. And like some of them end up in memes and some of them end up like, oh, you're getting promotion. And sometimes those two even overlap, getting promotion and ending up in a meme.
Yeah, fair. Good clarification. What I mean, I use 10x because probably is an exaggeration. It's like 1.2, like having someone else helping you to get in bounce ideas to validating your hypothesis. Doing some of the coding.
Exactly, yes. So what I usually think it's a good idea is to use it to, what you're saying, like validate things, to do it faster and everything. You still have to do a bit of a quality control, and also agents was a thing that made it a bit better, or quite a lot of better, because back in the days, and that's not many months or like a half a year ago or so, last week pretty much, you could just ask it to do something that or maybe even don't know, but library does not support.
Yeah.
And it would just hallucinate methods and create method calls that never existed in the library just to make you happy, basically. Yeah. Well, I mean, I don't think it feels that it tries to make you happy, but it gets a task, and I was like, well, it's probably something like that, and it will just create method calls that would not exist there, and I've seen that. Yeah. With agents, you can avoid that because then you can just say, well, it's not compiling, fix it. And then it will kind of...
One thing I found useful, for instance, in Golang, you do a mod vendor, and now that becomes part of the context. And then it goes to that specific version code. And it will figure out
That's really nice. It is. So that's...
Because by default, it only has some knowledge.
So... we talked a lot about AI. I want to switch a little bit to career growth and all of that. So the question that always come up to, especially the newcomers to the software engineering, that they are facing a tough time right now, given how the software engineering and the tech world is doing. Yep. So what's the non-technical? I'm talking about soft skills here, non-technical skills that helped you grow in your career. So we're having here two great community guys, developers, principal engineers. So what's the non-technical skill that help you in growing your career?
Excel.
In what way?
That's a bit technical. No, without kidding. I think it's understanding the user problems and what you are trying, how it benefits the business.
Yeah.
How you make... I work on promotions for other people, reviewing promotion packages. And one thing we look is, what is the impact? What is the impact you are creating? It doesn't matter that you create a very complicated tool or something if it's not being used, if it doesn't provide any value. So the impact of, even if you change a small little thing that either saves the company hundreds of thousands of dollars or it makes 90% of your users end using it, that's a big impact. It doesn't matter how big it is, the change you're doing.
Exactly, but that's from company perspective, right? But then also from a company perspective, it's still company perspective, but it's more from the employee side, right? I would say curiosity is a very important thing, right? Because curiosity is the one that brings you to make that change that will have impact or can potentially have a lot of impact. It's like, I wonder why we're doing this way, or I wonder why this works like this, or I wonder how it's actually working in the back and behind the curtains. Trying to understand that's really important thing. Another thing, again, which will bring you to at some point potentially to this impactful things and stuff, is something like it's curiosity in one thing, but you have the ability to work together with other people. Ability to cooperate with other people, and not just even if you figure out that something is really, really good, you still have to be able to convince others that it is why it's good, or why it's impactful, or why this kind of things.
Once you get to some level, it's about convincing people to do the things you believe are useful. Another thing we value a lot is how you can collaborate with people, not just your team, but with other teams, teams in other products, how you bring people together, I don't know, today with AI, how you can bring some AI new thing, not just with your within your team, but also with teams. And Adobe is a big company, so bringing people from all different areas together. So.
Great. We're kind of running out of time. I want to end this up with what's your one actionable advice to a developer in 2025 today that's listening to us to thrive in the upcoming years?
I would say I would kind of want to go back to this curiosity thing and be curious and try to learn new things, even though it's not your necessarily something you work with every day, but try to stay up with trends and try to understand it. You not necessarily need to spend a lot of time and learn it, but try to at least have an understanding of what is going on out there, so you're not getting isolated and just become a kind of a dinosaur and in a corner somewhere. So that's, I would say that.
What about you, Carlos?
I say the same. But also, I come from an open source background also a lot, so collaborating with open source projects, if you see something that you're using and you see small improvement, like even documentation is a great way to jump into open source projects. Those projects have a lot of the main projects have a lot of visibility that will help you land another job or get a promotion, things like that, because I think that's very valuable for your career. I mean, all the jobs I ended getting was because of my open source work.
Yeah, that's a good point, yes. What about you?
I was about to wrap up.
I know.
Okay, you got me there. I think one advice that I got early on from one of my managers is resolving ambiguity. Generally, we got the thing related to the thing that you mentioned. We got tasks that we need to do that are vague sometimes, that not clear path to follow. So working in resolving that ambiguity to everyone, your teammates, your manager, your product manager, the people, the other teams that you work with, that's a great skill to have. And investing in that one, understanding that how I can make it more clearer, actionable tasks to follow, and decoding that into things that other people can understand. It's a great skill.
And also the ability of taking that and put it in front of some customers and deciding, is this the thing we believe the customer wants? Now we'll hear from the customer if it is, right?
We all know that the customers and probably the users want probably something else, but our understanding of it is completely different. So resolving that ambiguity and getting clarification is really important, both on product side, but also on your career. So that was it. Thank you very much. Really enjoyed our discussion. We could have gone for hours, I think. But thank you for the insights. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for listening. And cheers.
Bye-bye.
That was lovely. Thank you.
Nice.
And you only